What's the cost of continuing to work when you could have been free? These are likely your healthiest, most active years. So you want to make sure that you're not wasting them. And be sure to watch this whole video, because I don't know which of these ideas is going to resonate with you. It could be the first one, it could be the last one, or it could be all of them. Okay, let's go for a walk and talk about 7 ideas that can help you retire sooner. And the first one is to focus on what you can control. So many people put so much effort and think, well, if I just work harder, if I just research more, I'll get better stock market returns. Some of that is true, but certainly not all of that is true. So what can you control? You can control your asset allocation, right? How much of your portfolio is going to be subject to the stock market returns? How much liquidity, how many months of liquidity, cash that you have in your account, so you don't find yourself being a forced seller in a down market. That's a quick way to have a lot of pain. So have some cash so you don't have to sell stocks when they're down. And also focus on your mental outlook on your portfolio. The time to be thinking through, how am I going to feel if the stock market's down 20 or 30%? The time to think about that is when the market's up. As I record this in 2023, the stock market's having a pretty good year, the S&P 500. So this is a great time to think about, what would you do if your account was down 20 or 30%? And the time, if you're going to tweak anything, the time to do it is when it's not down. So that's another thing that you can control. Another thing I encourage you to do is to be flexible. Don't be dogmatic. And as a financial advisor myself, we want our clients to have as much certainty of not running out of money as we can possibly give them. From my standpoint, 95% certainty of the plan working is better than 80%, but you have to make the decision that's right for you. To go from 80% certainty to 95, 97% certainty, what that means is saving more money. And that could mean another 3, another 5, another 7 years of your working. And these are your healthiest, most active years. Do you want to make that trade-off? For a lot of people, I think only you can make the decision that's right for you. For a lot of people, I think the right decision is to just realize, maybe 80% of plan is enough. And you'll be flexible and you'll adjust based on what you find your actual stock market returns are, what your actual situation is. Okay, number 3 is understanding that your asset allocation is going to dictate 90% of your success. So many people spend so much time on the individual stocks, the individual investments. And yes, that's important, but the big thing that's going to drive the returns is your asset allocation. So you want to make sure that it's reflecting who you are, and it's going to give you the ride, the type of experience that you can stick with in good times and bad. And the time to think about that, the time to think about, if my account was down 30, 40%, how would that feel? Could I stay the course? The time to think about that is before the market's down, right? As I record this, the market's having a pretty good year in 2023. The time to think about what would you do when the market's down is when the market's up, when it's doing well, right? Because then you can make some adjustments if you think you've gotten, I live in a ski town, if you think you've gotten ahead of your skis. Okay, number 4, and admittedly I'm biased. Number 4 is I think you should work with a professional. I need to say this is not financial advice for you. This is really to whet your appetite, to do more research and to think about some of these things that I'm pointing out today. But I do think working with a professional, I think, and again, I'm biased, I think they pay for themselves multiple times over. And people think, well, what I'm looking for is a Warren Buffett. I want to beat the market. And I'm a fan of Warren Buffett's, and in previous videos, I've talked about actually meeting Warren Buffett and being able to ask him a question when I was in business school. So this is not a slight on him, but you know what? Even Warren Buffett isn't always Warren Buffett. There's been plenty of 5-year rolling periods where Warren Buffett has underperformed the iconic S&P 500 index. So I just encourage you, what I think you're looking for, what I would be looking for in a financial advisor is, there's a reason we're called financial advisors, and it's really the quality of the advice. You're looking for somebody that when you're working with them, you're more likely to make good decisions by working with them. Okay, the next thing is, when you're looking at your budget, focus more on experiences and relationships than stuff. And it's just so easy. We're getting marketed it to all the time and saying, oh, you'll be happy when you buy this, you'll be happy when you buy that. And we're all old enough to know now that that's never, you get that Lamborghini that you've been hoping someday you'll be able to afford, and finally that day comes. You know what? I hate to break it to you. That's not what's going to bring you joy in life. What brings most people joy in life is some of the experiences that they have, the relationships that they have, and helping others, living a life of service, whatever that means to you. We're fortunate, some people that have taken care of people at the end of their lives. A real famous woman is Bonnie Ware. She wrote a book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. And one of the things she found is the people that reflected back on their life with happiness and fewer regrets were those that incorporated a sense of service and purpose in their lives. And I encourage you to read Bonnie's book. It's called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. I did a video on that as well if you want to look through my catalog as well. But why not learn from the people that have gone before us, right? Life is gonna end way too soon, and it's one of the reasons that you want to make sure you don't waste the youth of your senior years, that you take advantage of the time that you have when you can retire if it's right for you, and it's not right for everybody. If you love your job, you should keep working. Okay, that was number 5. Let's keep going. Number 6 is understand that you have a safety net. Let's say you're at 80% of plan and you don't want to work another 3, 5, 7 years to bring that up to 97%. And who knows, you might get lucky, right? You might only have to work another 6 months and the stock market does really well. But for most people, it's at least a couple more years. And these are dog years, right? These are your healthiest, most active years. So, your safety net is, worst case, maybe you get a part-time job. Or maybe you do what young people call a side hustle. You do something on the side to make more money. In a part-time job, let's say you're working 20 hours a week and you get healthcare insurance through that. Is 50% freedom better than 0% freedom, right? And if that's your worst case, if that's your downside, think really seriously about that. This is not prescriptive. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you some things to think about. Okay, and number 7, I want to encourage you to believe in yourself. We're human beings, we're adaptable. If you get unlucky and you get on the bad end of sequence of return risk, we're going to adapt. And if you get lucky and you get on the good end of sequence of return risk, we're going to adapt there as well. We're resourceful, we're adaptable. And so I just encourage you to believe in yourself. I also encourage you to watch this video up here that talks about 5 reasons. The video up here talks about average income in retirement, and this one down here talks about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.